Ah, damn it. Okay, I can't see. Hey. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited for this debate. My husband's going to be here. He's going to join me. Got this douchebag up on the screen. It's going to be fun. Oh. I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait. No, why is this... Sorry, guys. I'm having a... Okay. I think... No. Dagnammit. Why... Well, now you can't see. Hold on, hold on. All right. The light is like blinding me, so I can't really see the ring light. Moments away, DeSantis v. Newsom. Okay, it says 4 minutes. Maybe I can try to fix this more. Like, why? Why is it doing this? You guys, I need, like, ring light recommendations. You know what I'm saying? And tripod recommendations, because this shit is not working. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Please like and share the stream. And also... wait. Can you see it now? Okay. Yeah, please like the stream and also send me any questions that you guys have. Free Palestine. Send me any questions that you guys have. How do I share the poll? I made a poll because I wanted to see what you guys thought about the debate. Hold. How do I... Brah. Where's the poll? Okay, I don't know where my poll went, but... I hate Jesse Waters. Hello, hello. Make sure, guys, that you're liking the stream, please. Sharing it. And that you ask any questions that you guys have. And comments, because I want to hear what you guys think. I think it's possible that... What's his bucket? That Joe Biden may actually... step down if he doesn't, die. Because now Wall Street is calling on him. Here's my prediction, okay, or what I think is happening. I think that they are trying to set the stage to get Joe Biden to drop out so that Gavin Newsom can be, crowned. Which is going to be... Wait, I don't know... I don't know if somebody requests... I don't want to play a game, guys. I don't want to do match off. We're playing with these clowns. Oh, here it goes. Here it's coming. Here it's coming. Can you guys see the screen? I'm having to put so much Vaseline on my face. It's like burning. Okay. Just to let anybody know who's on the stream, who's already requesting to play a game. I don't want to play that game, whatever that is. I don't even know how to play it, okay? I'm such a boomer. Okay. My husband is here. He's going to join me for commentary on the debate. And it's 1 minute and 30 seconds away. Hold on. And okay. All right, excuse me. You guys want to meet my dog? Oh, look at that. Look at my dog. Shake it back and shake it, bake it. No, say hi. Yes, the drama is here. Okay. All right. It's in 54 seconds. All right, guys. Let's get this started. We're going to watch it. Make sure to leave Hey Demi Shock. We're going to make sure to comment as much as we can. I pause sometimes, so don't get mad at me because I do pause when I want to make a point. But, yeah. So, my prediction is that they are trying to prep Newsom because he's a greaseball scumbag and they want for him to take Joe Biden's place. So that's what I think is going to happen. But we'll see. We shall see.
Do good, or else there's going to be a civil war. Martha, thank you so much.
He's such a douchebag.
Sean Hannity is next. Thank you for doing this, Sean.
The ass kissing, though. It's a sports, it's a sports thing.
We are broadcasting live just north of Atlanta, Georgia, in Alpharetta, Georgia, where in just a moment we're going to hear from the Republican.
They're standing like it's the fucking like it's an actual presidential debate. Yeah, they're standing like it's a presidential debate. This is so embarrassing.
We will do our best to give equal time to each governor. We will limit answers to 60 seconds per question. We'll be a little flexible as needed. Let the debate breathe as needed, along with a 30-second time for rebuttal.
They want people to see it so they can envision Newsom as president and not Joe Biden anymore.
Governors, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
I know both of you personally. I've known you both for a long time.
I both know you're both equally desperate for attention.
I also know that both of you love your individual states. Yeah. I know you both
it's going to be so cringe. Excuse me.
I do.
My dog is
where we
me.
are in the country,
it's going to be so cringe. It's going to be so cringe.
Hannity's always so nice when he has Democrats on his show.
Yes! Profound differences in your approach to governance. And before we
Gavin
begin,
Newsom is so
quick note to all of
slimy.
you that are watching at home. Okay, I'm now the longest running primetime cable host in history cable news.
He has a lot more charm, even though he's fake. He does have a lot more charm than Ron DeSantis, who has the personality of a brick.
DeSantis is just
DeSantis has zero charisma, zero personality.
Well-sourced, fact-centered perspectives, and
fact-centered perspectives.
Tonight's questions will deal with the most fundamental issues, the ones that impact the lives of the people that make this country great. The people
he doesn't care.
People in California, and in many ways, every state in the country.
The real issues that matter. Stop.
Economy, immigration, crime, guns, homelessness, education, parental rights, abortion, gas prices. In other words, the things that impact you every single day. In the end, you will get to decide which governing philosophy you believe is better. The governors will.
Sorry, pause. I just have to make fun of this really quick. Okay. Don't get mad at me for pausing. The thing is that he said your dog is expressing the displeasure with what he sees on TV. True. He's letting me know. Shade. Yes, that I know. He's giving me shade. Okay, but I love how Sean Hannity pretends like he is like a neutral arbiter. Like he's not a right-wing apparatchik.
Governing philosophy.
Embarrassing.
And again, fact-based questions. So let's get started. Everybody ready?
Let's go with the wet blanket with no charisma.
Speak, there is a phenomenon. It is playing
which
out
we have to grade this on a couple things too. If you're grading this on a scale, we have to grade it on performance. So, like, clearly Newsom will probably win the performance because he is more, like, charming and slimy and all that. And Ron DeSantis is really bad at this. And then also on policy, what the policies actually are and if they're telling the truth when they're talking about it.
Americans, they are leaving blue states in droves in favor of red states.
This is so over-exaggerated.
2021 and 2022. These particular numbers are stark in the state that you lead. In the case of
this is what we call cherry picking.
U.S. Census, this is where the numbers come from. In 2021, 2022, California's lost 750,000 residents to other states. Governor DeSantis, during that same 2-year period, you gained 454,000 residents from other states.
This is also implying that all the people from California went to Florida, which they didn't.
Right. Florida doesn't even
most of them went to other western states.
And actually, a lot of it had to do with remote work.
Governor DeSantis have the first question. You will get the last word tonight. So I begin with you. You know, for Governor Newsom,
his like fake smile.
You know, what your response is on this as well.
I just spilled water all over myself. Cool story.
How do you explain this phenomenon? Governor, what's going on?
When I was in the Navy, I got orders to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado in Southern California. And I was a lifeline Floridian, but I went there and I was like,
a lifeline for Floridian? You mean lifeline?
California
this isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
than any state in the country. You almost have to try to mess California up. Yeah, that's what Gavin Newsom
has his talking points already.
You've
even got to try to mess Gavin Newsom up, California up.
Ran out of U-Hauls in the state of California because so many people were leaving. Of course, he's imposed restrictions.
Every time Gavin Newsom gets questioned on anything, he slides in that fucking politician smile. That fucking politician smile.
School closures, locking kids out of school while he had his own kids in private school in person. Now, he's very good at spinning these tales. He's good at being slick and slippery.
Are you mad that you're not good at this?
And you're not.
But the reality is they
yes.
failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work.
Oh, Demi
this
Shaw,
country
you're funny.
Must choose freedom over failure.
Freedom over failure.
Well, it's good to be with you, Sean. It's nice also to see you in a tie as well tonight. Good to be with you, Ron.
Oh my gosh, Sean Hannity is such a little kiss
ass. I'm grateful. Look, it's an important occasion. This is an important conversation, and I think
you notice how happy Hannity is to see him. Like, it's amazing to me. Hannity is such a piece of shit. He spends all day, every day, trashing Democrats, trashing the left, spreading lies and propaganda to his like senior citizen audience. And then the second he gets a Democrat on his show, he's like,
folks watching, you're probably wondering, what are we actually doing here? And I want to answer that.
Yeah, what are you doing here? Are you waiting for Biden to die?
To tell the truth about the Biden-Harris record and also compare and contrast Ron DeSantis' record and the Republican Party's
So you're here as a Biden surrogate?
As a contrast that's as different as David.
Come on.
Bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse. You want to roll back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Governor,
are you saying that of your own volition, sir? Blink twice.
We didn't address the issue. Can you explain this migration out of California and going to...
Oh, man, he's really going to try to drive this home.
The last 2 years, more Floridians going to California than Californians going to Florida.
I put
up on the screen a lie, sir. Can you answer it?
Right there. California has no peers. California dominates. Size of a 21-state populations combined. It's the 5th largest economy in the world. We dominate. #1 manufacturing state. We dominate in two-way trade, research and development, access to innovation, more scientists, more researchers, more engineers, more lawyers in the state of California than any other state in the nation. The finest system of higher education. It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis.
Sure, we don't provide housing for our citizens, but
Americans, when California simply has no peers.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say.
Left-wing platitudes.
Someone should tell him to talk slower.
Also, first of all, he looks like a violation warning. Wait a second. What?
Is it because we're watching the show?
No, it says for harassment and bullying. This decision is fair. I understand the decision, but the restriction... Oh, it looks like somebody sent, like, flagged or whatever, reported the live for harassment and bullying. Hey, would you explain to me how, like, watching a political debate is harassment and bullying? You guys, this app, please like the stream, share the stream. This app drives me insane. Insane. They are so censorious, literally so censorious. I'm simply streaming a political debate, which is news, and they're telling me that someone reported me for harassment and bullying. Harassment and bullying of who? Am I bullying Sean Hannity? Like, what the fuck? Wow.
I guess we should take it as a badge of honor that our criticism was considered a...
No, but seriously, this is so ridiculous. Like, this is so ridiculous. Like, why does TikTok have to be like this? I don't understand.
Florida, or really anywhere of these, because why would you...
Also, Ron DeSantis is already saying, like, why are you... Ron DeSantis is already reusing his same line over and over and over again. He's like, oh, well, he's slick. He's slick. It looks like his handlers probably said, call him slick, call him phony, which he is, but you can't keep using it over and over and over again, bro.
I also think DeSantis just doesn't, one of his fundamental problems is he just doesn't look at ease when he's in these debates. He looks like he's rushed. He looks like he's uptight.
Yeah.
Like he should, like, look at his eyes right now. Like
he looks like he's about to poop.
Yeah.
Like he's nervous that he's gonna poop.
Ron,
Thanks, Andrea. I see what you're saying, but it's not that I care that people say, like, shitty things or whatever. It's that... Stop, Aggie. My dog, though. Maybe my dog reported it. He really does not like this. The thing is that just really chaps my ass about the people constantly reporting shit that literally doesn't violate any guidelines is that TikTok is so censorious. So it's not like TikTok sees it oftentimes and, like, is reasonable and is like, oh, okay, we're going to just ignore this. Like, they don't. They constantly take down content, censor content. People will write shit to you on your video, and then when you respond to it, they'll take your response down. Like, it's just so frustrating. And don't even get me started on what ripoffs they are when it comes to the monetization program. Because they'll straight up take money away from you. Like, if you qualify for the monetization program, they'll just straight up take money away that you earned. Total scam. That is why I'm trying to build up a YouTube, which eventually I hope I can stream more on YouTube. Thank you guys for liking the stream and sharing it. Please continue to do so. And maybe somebody can explain to me how gifts work on here, because I don't know.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
I had talking to a gentleman a couple.
Yes, it's... No, it's DeSantis, between DeSantis and Newsom.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California.
Fella. That's him wanting...
That's like Obama's folks.
Yeah,
it's safer, better budget, a lower...
That's him wanting to
stuff.
sound like
really
he's,
happy
like,
with the quality
relatable.
of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida. And why are we getting people to come? We have a 50-year low in the crime rate. You don't see in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California's had a 45%
Is DeSantis just going to flash those
ridiculously
white teeth every single time DeSantis says something?
Also, he's so focused on Fox News talking points, he doesn't mention the reason people actually go there, which is like property taxes and
for
stuff like
standing
that.
for law enforcement.
Right, that's a good point. That's a good point because
like he's talking about crime and homelessness as if that's why people go to Florida.
Right. Like he's talking yeah, he's had to Google it. I know, I'm gonna have to Google it too. Yeah, exactly. He's so hung up on his fucking Fox News right-wing talking points that he doesn't bring up, like, yeah, some people move to Florida because they don't want to pay property taxes. But Florida is still really, really expensive, and they don't even have fucking healthcare there. They're the worst when it comes to healthcare. Medicaid expansion, Medicare, largest Medicare fraud ever in the history of the fucking country happened in Florida under one of their old governors. And then also, they've got zero unemployment. They brag about how shitty their unemployment system is.
In the state of
ridiculous.
California. So people understand quality of life matters. They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving.
Then why is
Gavin
are
can't
your
say
poll
the
numbers at
More
like 12%?
people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. But let's talk about crime.
Governor, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Governor, I've got a talking point to get to.
Including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why.
Oh, did you guys see that? Did you see that? Wait, hold, got to run back. Look at Ron DeSantis' face.
Including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the
exactly. Look at Ron DeSantis' face here.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years.
Yeah, Demi Shock, for real. Weather in New York, it's like hot here.
It is. Moving on. Let's go. Your states have vastly different income tax rates. Okay.
Oh my gosh, he's really doing the income tax rate routine.
13%. Married couple, for example, in California, earning a median income.
I like how he says that this is going to be a fair debate, and he immediately comes in and is trying to like skew the questions in order to make California look like a bad
state. But it goes beyond income taxes. Property taxes are lower in California, but everything else is higher. Let's take a look at the numbers. These are the facts. The average property tax in California, 0.75%, Florida, 0.91%. Sales tax, California, 7.25%, Florida, 6%. Gas tax rate, California, 77 cents a gallon. That is a low estimate. It's up to $1 when you include mandatory fees, and in Florida, it's 35 cents. Corporate income tax, California, 8.84%, Florida, 5.5%. Governor Newsom, this is your question.
None of them even paying corporate taxes.
In support of different philosophy, which is higher taxes.
Yes. No, hold on.
We have a tax question, Governor.
This is a very different approach, and I agree with you completely. He has one of the most regressive tax rates in the United States of America. It's number 3 most regressive state in America.
That's a fact.
And what that means is simply this. Who does he tax? He taxes low-income workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires in the state of California.
I mean, where's the lie?
The simple one. Who, Ron, are you for? It's a factual lie that the state of California is high tax, has the highest tax rate, but for whom? And it's a foundational and fundamental difference. You look at states like Texas, overwhelming majority of Texans pay more taxes than the state of California. So again, it's who you're for. And I think those values matter, and I appreciate you bringing up the issue of taxes.
How many people leave
Florida that's
to California because they pay less taxes? I've not seen that. Are people going from Florida to New York because they pay less taxes? Of course not. They come to Florida because they pay lower taxes. We don't even have an income tax. And yet California has a higher sales tax than we do, and that's one of the things that we do. But here's the thing.
And a sales tax is a tax on the poor and working people.
He's joined at the hip with Biden and Harris. I
love this. Okay, so just to catch everybody up to speed, so he just handed his ass to him because he explained that there's a big difference between tax rates and taxes. And then he turns around and goes, yeah, I don't know what to say, because he looks like he's going to cry. He's like, DeSantis is not ready for prime time.
No.
He looks like he's about to cry. And he's like, Biden, Harris.
It's funny because he reminds me of another Floridian in the Jeb Bush of 2016 performance who just looked like a wet fish every time he was up there.
Yeah. It's really pathetic. And like, I mean, it's going to be rough because Joe Biden is like really, really senile and is like, what do you call it? Senile and kind of on death's door and can't really string a lot of sentences together. So I feel like any debate with him is going to be disastrous. But, which Gavin Newsom is, proven to all of us that he's able to carry this up. But I mean, Ron DeSantis is just so bad at this. Like, so bad at this. He looks like he's going to cry every single time.
Economy is working because of their policies for Americans, and they are
I don't know what to say, so Biden,
is the Biden-Harris agenda on steroids. They would love nothing more than to get 4 more years.
This is embarrassing. He didn't even come up with any new talking points. He's just doing the same one.
They pay more in your state than the state of California charges for billionaires and millionaires, and it's just a value.
True.
It's a fact.
Where's the lie?
You can't make.
You have $6 or $7 a gallon gas. How do they afford that? These are folks that are blue collar people. You're going to force everybody to buy an electric vehicle. How are they going to be able to afford electric vehicles if you're working class people? And I think the thing about California.
Here's the whole we pretend to care about blue collar people routine.
They've got Silicon Valley billionaires. They've got a lot of very wealthy people. They've got a lot of people that are on government assistance, but they've hollowed out their middle class. That's who's been leaving California. They've been leaving in other places. They go to Arizona. They go to Nevada. They go to all these places.
Hopefully he corrects him on that because there are more people that live in poverty in Florida than there are in California. Now, that doesn't mean that California doesn't have a ton of problems of its own. They've got an affordable housing crisis. They have a huge unhoused population. And California is failing at that for sure. But for Ron DeSantis to pretend that Florida is like, they're really leading when it comes to like helping the middle and working class. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I do have a follow-up question.
Ron, I'm happy that you continue to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics because I'm happy to take that on right now as well. And I think it's a fair point.
You're a big supporter of it. I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
They never want to admit that.
15,000 manufacturing
jobs were because of the COVID lockdown.
Yeah, it is.
3.9% unemployment. As he continues to talk over me, I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment. The lowest.
Also, he looks, Ron DeSantis, hey, hi. Guys, please like and share the stream. One of the things I wanted to point out, too, is that Ron DeSantis feels panicked, and you can kind of tell he feels panicked because Whiskey, people are leaving Florida. They act like everyone's coming to Florida. Like, no, they're fucking not. Like, it's just such lies. Also, they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they keep saying, oh, the economy's going to crash, the economy's going to crash, the economy's going to crash. It's like, but unemployment is really low. And that's not me, like, defending how bad, like, shit is in this country, because shit's really, really bad. Like, I'm fucking broke. Everybody's broke. It's really hard out here. But if we're just looking at it from a pure data support, your son was there and you made him come back home. Yeah, I don't blame you. Florida is dangerous. Like, honestly, I would not want to go there. Like, everybody open carries. They have stand your ground laws. They're, like, openly racist. There's Confederate flags. Like, I wouldn't want to fucking... I don't blame you for telling your son to be like, come back home.
Black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American
history. But the fact of the matter is the unemployment rate is lower now. And Democrats just suck at actually, like, pointing out anything that they did. So, of course, they never say it.
Employment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's this administration's agenda. And by the way, as you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came into your
honestly,
state
Target, I think that Newsom is like hoping that Biden dies. Like, I think this is audition.
Biden and Harris have done.
Would you like to respond?
I think it's his audition.
I do have a follow-up. The 6% rate on people, families, couple in California, they pay 6% income tax on $84,000 a year.
Low-wage workers in the state of Florida pay more than men in our state of California.
You'll notice too that, yeah, for real though. You'll notice though too that Sean Hannity is not asking Ron DeSantis any tough questions at all. They're all directed at Newsom, even though he said he would be fair. He was going to be fair. He was going to be impartial.
That's what he said. You support a 6% income tax for
I'm
people.
against progressive taxes that advantage billionaires and millionaires over working families and the working poor. People in his state pay more taxes on the low end than we tax people on the high end. That's a fact.
$7 a gallon gas help working people? That doesn't help working people.
He has to keep pivoting to the gas thing because he knows that what he's saying about tax is true.
Working people at all. They have the highest taxes in the nation. People flee to be able to save money.
Ron DeSantis is short-circuiting, and he's having a really, really tough time because he has his prescriptive talking points. And then Dems are busy capitulating to people who aren't arguing. Yeah, for real, though. For real. But also, it seems like Ron DeSantis is short-circuiting because he's not used. He just has his prescriptive talking points, and then it's just that. And then he doesn't have anything else to say. And if Gavin Newsom is like, you actually have a regressive tax. You actually tax the poor with the sales taxes that you have, and you tax the working poor. Then all of a sudden, DeSantis is over here short-circuiting.
To get out of California, and you have working class people that move to these other states.
Honestly, Demi, I don't think that the best prep team would help him. He's just
they want to double down on
no
this for the next 4
charisma.
years.
No, he has
How
no
many people
talent.
are able to afford groceries
There's no
now
political
compared
talent.
to what you were doing 3 or 4 years ago? I talked to people. I talked to a woman who had a cart full of groceries going in, and they're ringing it up. And it got to be so expensive, she has to take a lot of the stuff out.
Bro, you already told this story.
People used to
they
be
always
able to
do
work hard
that.
and get ahead. That is not true under Joe Biden.
No.
And you know what, Sean?
They do the same thing over and over again. First of all, I fucking sat through the entire... Yeah, Whiskey, he does a really shitty Trump impersonation, okay? Because Trump is trash, but Trump has a very unique personality, right? And so all these little pathetic sycophants that try to do impersonations of him, it's so pathetic. And also, Ron DeSantis does this thing that Republicans always do, and it's so unbearable, where they just tell anecdotes because they think it'll distract from the fact that they suck. If they tell you little anecdotes like, I knew a mom who had to put back groceries. I used to be in the military. And that's supposed to make them, it's supposed to make them relatable.
Than Florida's unemployment rate. Our unemployment rate is 2.8%. There's a 4.8%. Why?
Governor.
Because it's a command and control economy. They have a political...
Doesn't he kind of look like when he gets mad like an angry teddy bear, Ron DeSantis? He looks like a mad teddy bear when he gets mad.
Agenda that they're pursuing.
Let me ask that question. Honoring the question of jobs, I think it's important. You know what? That affects that affects everybody.
Administration, the last 3 years, it's been a massive
Joe Biden paying you tonight?
3.9%.
I thought this was state versus state.
But it's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States.
You just won't admit it.
Running for a third term.
You just won't admit it. You will not admit it. Why don't you admit that you're running?
All right, we can't talk. I'm going to move on to the next question. The unemployment rate in Florida right now is just 2.8%.
Hannity's I'll be fair.
And California
going to
ranks second worst
Good night.
in the country at 4.8%. Hold on. This question goes to Governor DeSantis, and then you'll have a chance to respond. Governor DeSantis.
Well, right. I mean, they tax too much. They regulate too much. They have a political agenda. It's not a good climate for business. They've lost a lot of companies. A lot of companies have moved to Texas. We have had some to Florida.
Bye,
but they've
Whiskey.
lost a lot of companies to Texas because they're not doing a good job looking out for folks and not creating a good business environment. And when I have people that come
also,
to Florida,
Hannity keeps attacking Newsom.
You guys actually want us
Why are
to
you bringing up Biden? Why are you bringing up Biden? Why aren't you? Why are you pretending you're going to be fair if you're just going to attack Newsom?
Well, actually, yeah, I think that's an interesting point with Disney because I had Disney open during COVID, and we made them a fortune, and we saved a lot of jobs.
And then you declared a war on them because you were because of your anti-gay and trans crusade.
You were a lockdown governor. You did a lot of damage to your people. You had more kids locked out of school for a longer period of time
Jeff,
in
like, for real.
than anywhere else in the country. It was the working class kids. It was the middle income kids.
I love when they pretend to care about the working and the middle class kids.
He locked people out because of the teachers union. He is owned by the teachers union. He will never cross the teachers union.
Let's talk about your record on COVID. You passed an emergency declaration before the state of California did. You closed down your beaches, your bars, your restaurants.
I know. I stayed up until COVID, and a lot of people died. Got them.
All over the state of Florida. By the way, I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this. Dead to right. You did that.
True.
You followed science. You followed Fauci.
That's not
he followed science. He followed Fauci. You were
Why did
promoting.
everyone leave?
Hold on. You were promoting.
We're watching the Sean Hannity, Gavin Newsom debate. Shadow puppet presidents.
If it's okay with you, we'll do this.
Why were you closed?
Why don't we do this in a way?
No, and you know what? Pause. I gotta say this first. Hi. Please like the stream and share it. Okay. What I wanted to just say and make fun of is they have to be so anti-reality, right? The Republicans, because they're so insane that when Newsom wants to get under his skin, he says, "Oh, you followed the science at first. You were listening to Fauci at first. Wait." And Newsom has to be like, no, I didn't. I mean, not Newsom. DeSantis has to be like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't. I'm a piece of shit. I'm evil. I didn't. Like, they have to, like, prove that, like, they're just the worst people in the world in order to please their base.
Outside, in September 2020, he did all of that until he decided to fall prey to the fringe of his party. And as a consequence of that, Ron,
I totally forgot about that woman that he went after.
The equivalent, if I had
Thank you, hello world.
The equivalent of 10 9/11s. Tens of thousands of people lost their lives. And for what, Ron?
Those are more lies. In fact, the Lancet just did a study. Florida had a
Is Ron DeSantis wearing his high heels in this one?
One more thing. The other thing we had.
You guys, this election is going to be such a disaster.
Excess mortality that.
All right, gentlemen.
Let me talk about excess mortality real quick.
Honestly, hold on a second.
I like his, like, trying to do his best Trump thing.
I want everyone to be heard. If I can ask you, I really do want this to breathe. I want this debate to breathe. I want it to organically develop. To do that, I need both your cooperation. I don't want to be a hall monitor. It's not my style, all right?
I don't want to be a hall monitor. It's not my style. I just can't stand Sean Hannity because Sean Hannity is so evil. He's such a company man. And he's trying to do all these slights to Gavin Newsom, but at the same time, he wants to appear like he's fair and he's reasonable.
Later, but you both took very different approaches as it comes to COVID. Governor Newsom, you issued the nation's first stay-at-home order on March 19th of 2020. Governor DeSantis, you took a lot of heat for reopening schools. You opened schools in Florida.
But it turned out
of 2020. All right.
Bro, the framing of the questions are just such bullshit. Like, it's like, Gavin Newsom, you forced everybody into their houses and you put padlocks on them during COVID. And DeSantis, you took a lot of heat during the pandemic for opening schools, but it turned out you were vindicated.
Here's the data, which I think is important. This is where the facts come in. Your state's death rates were almost identical.
This is factually untrue.
Hold on.
Factually untrue.
Yeah,
okay.
I like how people act like if they just put a chart on there with no source. Oh yeah, this is supposedly from the CDC, but then like they'll just be like,
these numbers come straight from the CDC. So, Governor Newsom, how do you...
Just because a chart says something doesn't mean somebody knows how to interpret the chart.
29% per capita higher.
Look at his smile. Look at...
That's not what the stats say right there.
Tens of thousands.
Look at DeSantis' smile.
You put the graphic up there. Don't lie about it.
Necessarily
You don't need to lie about it.
because your policies.
Just understand.
You don't need to lie about it. You don't need to about it. Why does he look like that?
Bars and restaurants. That's just a fact. He's running away from his record.
I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. He's like bringing up 9/11. Like,
it's 29% higher death rate in the state of Florida versus the state of California.
The stats are very clear. On a per capita age-adjusted basis, California and Florida basically the same. Now, why is that important? Because Gavin Newsom did huge damage to people in California. He ruined livelihoods. We reopened the state very quickly. We saved thousands of jobs. We saved hundreds of thousands of jobs, thousands of businesses. We had our kids in school. He had the kids locked out of school because of the teachers union. That is having a generational
more attacks
impact.
on the
California
teachers union,
has one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. In the most recent NAEP exam, Florida came in number 3 for 4th grade reading.
save me some of the,
California was far
topicals,
behind. So you should apologize for not getting your kids in school. Why didn't you get the kids in school in the summer of 2020 like we did? You bowed to the teachers union. Didn't do the job.
They never waste an opportunity to shit on unions while they claim they care about the working class.
Of thousands of lives that died unnecessarily.
If you don't count all the people I hate, the numbers are actually lower.
We got to take a break. Finish
You're making good points, so we have to take a break.
Yeah.
You better be careful. You had more learning loss during COVID than the national average in the state of California. Without, it's a fact. More learning.
Look at his smile, how he's just like.
more in 2020. Expanded slower than California in 2021. More to come on this topic.
More to come on this debate. I know it's starting off.
Next segment, I guess.
It's been rather dull at the start, but anyway, we got a lot to get.
Oh, not enough drama for you, Sean Hannity.
Talking about including one issue where he might find some agreement actually as we continue the blue state, red state debate. We are live. We are in Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you for being with us.
Also, the one good thing about pausing it a lot is you don't have to watch their fucking stupid ass commercials. But that's the other thing. Think about how fucked up it is that, like, they're constantly trying to pit people in red states versus blue states against each other. Constantly. Yeah. Wait.
Governor Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis. Gentlemen, let's move on to the issue of borders. Joe Biden's message to illegal immigrants during his campaign was, let them come. I'd have the tape, but I said it later. And since taking office, Biden said he's gotten control of the border. Vice President Kamala Harris, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas.
All of it is meant to attack Gavin Newsom. It's just so.
All said the border is either secure
it's so
or the
transparent.
border is closed. Yet the Border Patrol says, well, guess what? They have been a record 6.5 million encounters with illegal immigrants and so-called asylum seekers at the border since
Gotaways is not a word.
The administration says, well, they don't know how many people actually are in the country illegally. Gentlemen, the American people, I ask you, I believe it's your turn, Governor Newsom, have the American people on the issue of borders, you're defending the Biden administration, they're saying the border's secure, they're saying the border's closed, those are the numbers from our own Border Patrol. Are the American people being lied to?
I don't think they're being lied to. The
Biden
administration put out a comprehensive plan day one.
Trafficking migrants all over the country.
And the Republican Party didn't touch it. They haven't moved on it. They play politics with us. And I'll be honest with you, I think there's probably one person I wouldn't listen to on this topic more than the guy that I'm standing next to, Ron DeSantis. He lacks any credibility on the issue of immigration. When he was in Congress, he supported amnesty. When he's in Congress, you supported John Boehner's bill. It's a fact. When you were in Congress, you supported Obama's supported Obama's efforts to advance comprehensive reform. The last guy you want to talk to.
Also, they're just like using constantly immigration as a weapon and as a football because that's why they don't ever want to fix the immigration problem. They never actually want to fix it. And it's just so disgusting because, and they're also just like selective with who they pick because they always let Cubans in.
Immigration. Your immigration policy can best be described as a governor from the state of Florida going into another state, the state of Texas, lying to migrants, promising them jobs and housing, sending them to an island, Martha's Vineyard, and then sending them to a parking lot in Sacramento, California. I met with those migrants that you lied to under false pretense.
Target. That's true that Cubans are oftentimes, when they come over, whatever, they kind of adapt whiteness or have over time. But a big reason why they do it is because Cubans are often right-wing. They're often Republican. They're conservative. And so every accusation is a confession from the right wing. So when the right wing says, oh, Democrats just want to let in immigrants because they want them to vote Democrat, that's literally what they do with Cubans because they think they're going to vote Republican. Because why are you assuming that every immigrant that comes over the border is going to vote Democrat? In fact, a lot of people that are from Latin America are very conservative and religious. So why assume that? Unless it's a confession, because that's what you guys do.
That kind of gamesmanship, using human beings as pawns, I think is disqualified.
Why is he doing this? Smiling like this.
A guy who stands here who's been out on the Republican debate stage saying, well, he's going to be tough, he's going to shoot people with backpacks, and that he has a strategy.
A big tough guy is going to shoot people with backpacks. Our second
largest trading partner.
Yeah, exactly. The right always projects. Always projects. They're never not projecting.
Reforms under the Obama administration is the last guys to be standing on stage talking about the issue of immigration reform tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's deja vu all over again with that flurry of lies. This is a guy that says the Biden administration is not lying to the public about the border. They go to the White House briefing room every day. They say the border's secure. They are lying to you. We know that that's not true. Gavin Newsom is lying to you when he says somehow I supported these things, which I didn't do.
And
he's
after this
also
debate, I don't think anyone should doubt
about
that.
what it's going to take to solve
honestly,
this problem. California's
my
a sanctuary
prediction
state.
is gaslight, obstruct, project. Exactly.
And this has real consequences. There was an illegal alien, Herbert Nixon Flores, who was in L.A., in custody. He was a repeat.
All right, let me just point out the bullshit that they're about to engage in, okay? He's going to do the thing that the right wing always does, where they take one anecdote of a undocumented immigrant, and of course they want to dehumanize them, so they call them illegal aliens, and then they will tell a story about how an undocumented immigrant killed someone. And that anecdote is supposed to be illustrative of all immigrants that come to the country, even though, as a matter of fact, immigrants who are undocumented commit less crime than native-born citizens. So, more just that. But what is he gonna not? I mean, all he can do is lie and stand there like this.
Criminal. ICE wanted to take him into custody because then they would be able to deport him. LA refuses to work with ICE, and so they wouldn't turn him over. They end up releasing him on the street. He ends up murdering the mother of a 3-year-old little girl. Those policies are deadly. They do not work. And I'll tell you this, the Martha's Vineyard transport, Martha's Vineyard said it was a sanctuary jurisdiction. It kind of reminds me about Gavin Newsom when he restricted Californians, then he went to the French Laundry. These liberal elites, they like to impose burdens on you. They don't want to have to face the consequences of their actions. So we've got a lot of elites who want open borders, who lecture everybody else about it. Then the minute they have to deal with any of the consequences, oh man, all hell breaks loose.
How about the consequences?
Hold on, we're moving to the next question. We'd be much better
on the same topic.
Okay, so every time you notice that every time Ron DeSantis lies and Gavin Newsom goes to answer it, he goes, we're moving on.
Yes.
We're moving on to the next topic.
Yes. Same topic. This is important. This is a very important question. While some migrants I know want to come to America for a better life for themselves and their families, find the American dream, I totally sympathize with them.
Do you?
Many good people feel in very bad situations abroad. But others
oftentimes
are
caused by like
asylum
American
process.
involved coups.
The process in search of where they're coming from. Well, we're now learning that many are coming from some of our top geopolitical foes, countries with little to no vetting, where people are coming in. They're not being vetted. Look at these numbers. Between October 2021, October 2023, border agents encountered 6,386 nationals from Afghanistan, 3,153 from Egypt, 659 from Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, 538 from Syria, 12,605 from Russia, and a whopping 26,113 from China. Now,
I love how he's like, people from Afghanistan. Wait, you guys haven't gotten your talking points right, because I thought you supported people coming from Afghanistan that helped the Americans. And I also like how they claim that they care about people escaping oppression in Iran, but then when people from Iran come here, they're like, state-sponsored terrorism.
The next question goes to you, Governor Newsom. What are the odds that Biden's open borders have allowed terrorists and terror cells unvetted into
terror
this
cells?
country?
Oh, terror cells are back.
Present danger to every American.
Coming through the southern border, Hamas terrorists.
Yes.
Of course, our enemies are going to take advantage of this. He opened the border. He's not. He's violating his oath of office to take care of the laws.
I think my dog is vomiting over the.
He's knowingly having 8 million come in, and yes, there's criminal aliens. There are terrorists. There's a lot of fentanyl.
Yikes! That would be disastrous.
Fentanyl deaths. I've met a lot of angel parents who have lost kids to fentanyl overdose, and the problem is, you'll have a college kid that may take some pill, not knowing that there's fentanyl in it. And then right there,
everything he says is so rehearsed. He's told the same story about fentanyl over and over again.
He refuses to take care of the border. He refuses to hold the
They don't care about addiction.
Accountable.
They never have.
This is the vision of Biden, Harris, Newsom. Open borders. Americans suffer, and Americans continue to die because of fentanyl overdose. There will be, unfortunately, a terrorist attack at some point that we'll be able to trace back to our southern border.
By the way, do you see that risk, Governor Newsom?
Bro, these people are sick. It's like they're hoping there's a terrorist attack.
He consistently puts up plans. Hold on, but Sean,
it's like they want it to happen.
I support border security. I think the asylum system is broken. I believe that we.
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state on the issue of immigration.
Oh, look at his smile! Yeah. He's like,
in front of Congress.
Oh, don't say it.
Agents, as well as custody
Don't say
1,000 new law enforcement officers to deal with the fentanyl issue. And by the way, that's a major issue in your state. 41% higher overdose rates in the state of California. And here's what I haven't heard. Not a peep from Ron DeSantis. They want to demagogue this issue. You want to play politics with issues.
Embarrassing. You gave that to him.
Why don't you lead your party?
I saw you give it to him.
That
I was holding it here.
Hold on. I didn't follow up. Governor Newsom, I appreciate your answer. You have mentioned comprehensive immigration reform many times. It's not happened under Joe Biden. I don't think it's going to happen
next year. Detailed plan, and Republicans in Congress refused to act on it.
Let me finish my question.
Let me finish my question.
With all of these millions and millions of people coming into this country unvetted, the question was and remains, is this a clear and present danger?
No, world, because I think that most voters know these people are charlatans and clowns, but we don't run our own government, you know?
A $14 billion package in front of Congress they can act on today.
And what would that?
They haven't done anything in 2 years. This Congress.
What do you support?
Like Ron DeSantis is talking about fucking fentanyl overdoses, and he's got insanely high fentanyl overdoses in his own state.
Border agents and customs officials. By the way, also includes.
And Newsom's right about that. Like, bro, you don't even live on a border state. You're just trying to out-Trump Trump, and you literally are pulling at 13%. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I'm almost at the president. The plan up to address.
Does it worry? Let me ask the question another way. Does it worry you that our top geopolitical foes, and the number one state sponsor of terror, Iran, China, Russia,
they love to repeat that.
Syria,
number one state
our southern border. You're a border state governor. Does that concern you at all?
Why else would I put the answer is yes. Why else would I put the National Guard? Why would I just increase it by 50% on the largest port in the Western Hemisphere?
Who's going to win the next election?
I mean, this guy has
probably
no
Trump.
The fact that you supported amnesty, the fact you supported Obama reforms, those are facts. They're just simple facts. The fact that your greatest contribution, Ron,
you are just making things up. Well, listen, here's the thing. I don't mind.
That's so inhumane.
I don't mind him lying to me. I don't mind Gavin lying to me, but I do mind him lying to you. He is sitting there
Oh my
saying
gosh,
that
it's
Joe
so
Biden
bad.
is willing to solve this problem. Is there anybody out there that actually believes this?
Support
Joe
his
Biden
plan.
created this problem.
Support
So if
the
he's
plan.
willing to lie to you about that, you know he's lying to you about
I'm
all
not
these other
okay with
facts and
him
figures,
lying to you.
about all this other stuff.
He's so
throwing
bad
stuff
at this.
out to
I
see
thought it
what
was
sticks
going to
against the
highlight
wall.
what a
This
tool
is
Gavin
slick,
Newsom is.
slippery
Gavin Newsom is a
politician
tool.
whose state is
Okay.
failing.
This is like
People
Debbie
are-
said that.
Third, this is the third time that he's used the line, oh, Gavin Newsom's a slippery politician. We got it, bro.
Yeah, you sound like a robot.
We got it, bro. We got it, bro. We got it, bro. We keep calling him slippery. We fucking know. But you know what's embarrassing? He's really trying to hone in on that to Newsom. And I thought Newsom would be more cringe in this thing. But I forgot that Ron DeSantis is so uncharismatic. He's so bad at this that he's actually he's distracting from Gavin Newsom being like, he's distracted from Gavin Newsom being like a douchebag, basically, or like slippery, because he's just so unbearable. I don't want him to lie to you. Like, who put this wind-up doll on here?
It's not just a matter of presentation, it's also substance.
Oh, yeah, he has no substance.
Newsom is able to, get facts. You know, he's remembered certain facts about DeSantis, and he's able to tailor them into a logical argument that makes sense. Whereas DeSantis is just kind of throwing
shit at the wall.
Yeah, shit at the wall.
We got to take our second break.
Stop smiling that.
We have a lot more ground to cover. Quick break. We have a lot of ground to cover. More with Governor.
You already said that, bro.
DeSantis and Newsom, the great blue-red state debate. As we continue from Alpharetta, Georgia. Again, thank you for being with us.
Embarrassing smiling. Doesn't the way DeSantis is smiling kind of reminds me a little bit of if you were like a pageant girl. You know how like when you're in a pageant, you're supposed to like say whatever like your line is, and then you're supposed to smile.
Yeah. That's embarrassing.
Oh man.
In a must-see interview tomorrow.
I haven't even been able to get into all the embarrassing things that fucking Ron Santos has done. Santos, I haven't even been able to get into that. It's a totally separate thing.
With Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis. Again, thank you both for being here. We're going to take a little breathing room. I don't mind the debate taking on a life of its own, but let each other breathe. I don't want to be the hall monitor. Please don't turn me into that. Anyway.
He's such an unbearable kiss
FBI
ass.
numbers, violent crime nationally for each of your states. Keep in mind, this statistic shows what is the combined rate of homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault the year 2022. On the national level, the rate was 380.7 offenses per 100,000 people. In California, meanwhile, the rate was much higher, 499.5 offenses per 100,000. In Florida, lower, 258.9 offenses per 100,000. Governor Newsom, let me start with you. Your numbers are way higher than the national average. How do you explain that when safety and security, I would argue, is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We're near 50-year lows, down 55%.
Safety and security is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness.
That with the issue in Florida that you didn't mention.
Oh, thank you, Debbie Shock.
Let's broaden it more broadly.
I like how he's like, Hannity's like, isn't safety the prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness? Notice that they say that when they're trying to fearmonger about crime, but they never will acknowledge that when it comes to not wanting to get shot. So if you just want to go to school and like not be killed in a mass shooting or a school shooting, they'll be like, sorry, freedom. But you just said safety and security was imperative for the pursuit of happiness, no?
Part of the murder rate.
7 of the top 10 murder rates in the United States of America are red states.
True.
There's a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. There's a higher murder rate. Go to places like Jacksonville. Go to places like Orlando. Go to places like Tampa. The murder rate's off the charts compared to cities like San Francisco. And you know what? Even more egregiously, Sean, and I think this is important, the American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland.
Good, I'm glad he brought this up.
17 kids were gunned down, lives lost, 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with the parents and the families to get tough on gun safety. And again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Guttenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So with respect, I appreciate you're talking to police officers in the state of California. You may want to spend a little bit more time, not on the Ohio Trail and other places across this country. You may spend a little more time back in your home state and address the murder and gun violence in your own backyard.
So this is the position you put up the rates. He has 500 per 100,000. Florida is 260.
He's like shaking.
So that's
He's you see, he's like shaking.
People are leaving
I mean,
California
that was a
in
good
droves,
response.
largely because public safety is collapsed.
He just wasn't meant to be a politician at this level.
I mean,
No.
you go when Californians come to Florida, one of the things they'll say, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. They can go to the store, get toothpaste off the shelf, pay for it, and leave, because in a lot of these places in California, everything's under lock and key because they basically legalized retail theft. They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety. They treat
why are his eyes so
offenders.
bad?
They're easier
Big.
than
I mean,
all
he
these
keeps going
crimes
like
that are leading to a collapse in the quality of life. And if you just walk around San Francisco, you will see, and I think it's interesting, Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco. So he took the San Francisco model.
Also, you can tell that DeSantis is still in his Republican debate mode.
Where
he's throwing red meat.
Use that as a template for America's
and
collapse.
Newsom is basically just saying what DeSantis did.
No. I got a follow-up question. You brought up.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. He's just like doing his like GOP base red meat, like this, that, and immigration, and blah blah blah. And Newsom is like, you didn't do anything about like a bunch of kids being massacred in your state.
Yeah, I don't think DeSantis understood that this was a mock general election debate, and it's not a Fox News debate.
Right?
He put the statistics up there. Your crime is higher. We know your crime is higher.
But Newsom is behaving as you would in a general election debate against the presidential candidate.
Look at the numbers.
It just shows what an amateur DeSantis is, because
control advocacy group every town for gun safety. Okay, California has
which came out of the Sandy Hook massacre, which none of them wanted to do anything about. Remember? I mean, it's just so embarrassing. Also, you're right. It's like he doesn't understand that this is supposed to be like a general debate, a general election debate. So he's just like, oh yeah?
Support, I know, Governor.
Crime.
Restrictive gun laws in the United States. Florida has the 19th most restrictive. Yet, if you look at the year 2019, when each of you took office,
I'm going to lose my mind. I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to do the insane, ridiculous routine. Oh, right, Demi, you said you were from Connecticut. That's so terrible. Okay, but I know what he's doing right here. He's going to do the whole, well, if gun control works, then why does California have more strict laws and yet they still have shootings routine? But that is such a fucking stupid talking point they use. Why? Because we live in the continental United States, okay? Hawaii, which is not physically attached to the rest of the country, has a very low gun violence rate because they actually enforce their laws. But when you live in the continental United States and you can just drive, then of course you're not going to be able to prevent a lot of gun crime when none of these laws are federal. None of these laws are federal. So people just go and get guns in Indiana and drive them over the border to go to Chicago. Like, duh.
21 mass shootings. Florida has had 9. Now, that is according to a USA Today, AP, Northeastern University database data. Keep in mind, a mass killing is defined as the intentional killing of 4 or more victims, excluding the deaths of unborn children and the offenders by any means within a 24 period of time. I believe, Governor DeSantis, you get this first.
What California wants to do is they want to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to defend themselves then they go
same
easy
NRA
on the
talking
criminals
points.
who are perpetrating the crime. They
Same
don't stand up for the
NRA
men and women of
talking
law
points.
enforcement. That's why a lot of people have left the state, because they don't get the support from the communities that they need. And, Gavin told another lie. He said we made it easier for felons to do. Felons are not allowed to possess firearms. That's federal law. That's been long-standing.
No background check.
That is an absolute lie that he's saying like that.
It's not a lie because they don't have background checks.
Right, so it doesn't matter. You can just go and get one.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. People are leaving California in droves because he has failed to stand up for public safety.
Same talking points.
They are on an
and yeah, how would you know if they were
joyride
felons if you
to
don't
let people
require
out of
background
prison early,
checks?
Yeah.
to go easy on them. Heck,
Clearly.
your buddy, Gavin's buddy in Los Angeles, Gascon, he doesn't even prosecute. When you have...
Oh,
when
you
I was
know
in
that
Southern
he's
California
getting
for the Reagan
desperate.
debate,
Exactly.
a
Laws
lot of the women
is only
coming
good in
to
there's
take up all their
enforcement.
jewelry
So you
just
can't
to
be
able to
like,
go
oh, well,
shopping,
we don't
because
sell them to
otherwise they're gonna
felons.
get
Well, you don't do
mugged.
background checks.
That is the reality that people are facing in California.
Also,
Rather than try to put lipstick on that pig, but the fact
he's
of the
so
matter
desperate
is
he's
he
bringing
has failed the
Gascon
people
in.
of California.
He doesn't know what to say to Newsom, so he's like, Gascon.
Pardons for January 6th insurrectionists, 85 of them that were literally charged with attacking law enforcement. You talk a big game about backing the blue. With all due respect to the crime rate, again, he's not answering the fact that he has a higher murder rate than the state of California, a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. And I can easily answer this.
True.
Gun safety saves lives. I don't think it, I know it. And the data bears that out in the state of California. California proudly does lead in terms of common sense gun safety. Common sense gun safety saves lives. You had the chance to do something meaningful. You had a chance to do something on behalf of those Parkland families. You did the exact opposite. You moved in the exact opposite direction.
Yeah,
With
you're
all due
right.
respect, look at your own
With all due
backyard.
respect to the
Why
crime
not
rate.
rate your backyard on this issue?
I will do that because we had two radical left Soros district attorneys, like your buddy Gaston.
That is
in LA,
so
one in
online.
Tampa, one in Orlando. They were
That is so
endangering the
online. Did you
public,
hear that?
and I removed
He's like,
them
we
from
had
their
two
posts. Gavin
radical
Newsom has not lifted a
left
finger
George
to rein
Soros
in
backed
Gaston
liberal
in
district
LA.
attorneys.
That
is so online. People who like just don't have online brain don't know what the fuck that means.
Right.
This is supposed to be like a mock general debate, and he's talking like he's on Twitter.
I mean, you're running for president of the United States. You're talking down the great state of California. You're talking down one of the great American cities, Los Angeles. That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate in the state of Florida and the state of California.
We
We
gotta
have some
take
of
a
the
break.
lowest crime rates we've had in 50 years.
We'll have more with Governor DeSantis, Governor
Wow,
Look at
and he had to cut it off.
Look at him smile here.
That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate.
Watch
in
him
the state of
smile
Florida
here.
and the
Look at
state of
DeSantis'
California.
face.
We've got some of the lowest crime rates we've had in 50 years.
We'll have more with Governor
What?
DeSantis,
So
Governor
forced.
Gavin Newsom on the
Oh my
other
gosh,
side
it's
as
so
we continue
bad.
the great
It's so
state
bad.
debate. Blue
This is like a train wreck for him.
Yeah, this is really bad. Guys, one of my predictions is he's going to drop out soon.
Yeah, probably.
DeSantis, because this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
This was really supposed to be something that would make him stand out, and it's making him actually look really bad.
Right.
Hi, welcome back to Hannity, the Great Red State Blue State Debate. We continue with Governor DeSantis.
Hannity looks pretty depressed.
The state of California.
Yes.
Gentlemen, let's turn to
Yeah, you're right. We'll have more talk of violence. Yes, Debbie. Okay, but what's so embarrassing is you're right. Hannity looks down. Like he's kind of bummed, you know what I'm saying? Because he's having he's realizing that this is going disastrous for DeSantis. DeSantis disaster. And like it's just so bad. I'm telling you guys, he's gonna drop out within the next
parental rights. Now,
2
in
weeks.
March of last year, Governor
I bet.
DeSantis, as you know,
If
you signed
he's
the
smart, he would've
Parental
endorsed
Rights
Trump.
in Education bill. And let me read from it. It says, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in according with
He's going to have to drop out,
standards.
Andrea. He's only polling at 13%, and this performance is embarrassing.
Sadly, though, he's in like second place with that.
DeSantis,
I think he's going to drop out.
especially the lower grades.
This is not
should schools,
sustainable.
and maybe all grades. Should schools be focusing on reading, writing, math, science, history, computers, and maybe leaving values, considering parents might have different values than teachers at school, to the...
Why do they say that you have to only teach reading and writing at the expense of acknowledging that there's gay people?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, especially... Yeah, you're right. They're really trying to rally around Nikki Haley now. All like the big dark money donors and stuff, like the Kochs are now doing a dark funding dark money funnel blitz into her campaign.
Agenda. It's to do the basics. And
I mean, to be fair, she has a much better presence than he does.
To tell a kindergartner that their
Ghostcrafter, you timed Newsom is getting less time. Oh, like you compiled
now, California
how much time everybody was getting?
They want to have that injected into the elementary school. My wife and I have a 7-5 and a 3-year-old. We don't think that that's appropriate. And I know most parents do not think it's appropriate. It's also important to respect parental rights to know what curriculum is being used in the classroom, and everything should be age appropriate. I actually have something that I brought that some parents
oh my gosh, he's pulling out a prop.
This is a book that's in some
He's pulling out a
Florida.
prop.
This is not consistent with our standards, called Gender Queer. Some of it's blocked out. You would not probably be able to put this on air. This is pornography. It's cartoons. It's
and I keep it in my pocket.
And it's wrong. So this should not be.
Are you guys seeing this right now?
When people like on the left say that somehow you're banning books.
What is their obsession with showing blacked out dicks?
No, this is not.
Because Marge did that earlier.
So we're going to stand for the rights of parents. I think we need to do that nationwide. I don't think you can have a situation where some states trample on the rights.
Please, can we just stop and acknowledge this for a second? This is unreal. He was waiting all night. Somebody wrote, he was waiting all night to pull that out of his jacket.
Yeah, right?
No, you're right, though. This is so embarrassing. He's pulling out books. The book Genderqueer and like, look, a blowy.
Right?
Look, a blowy. Like showing it on the screen. This is unreal.
Parents have a
oh my gosh, I can't.
And by the way, you go on a banning bench. 1,406 books have been banned this last year under Ron DeSantis' leadership. I love that he keeps pulling this out. I've seen this. He's been doing this all over campaign trail. What's wrong with Tony Morrison books?
He's been pulling this dick out all of the campaign trail.
And the poetry. 1,406.
So all you're saying is we just have to blur the dicks out and then the book is fine.
Banning binge in the state of Florida. So
I like how Newsom is like, you're just walking around pulling out all this porn all over the campaign trail.
The LCFF process.
Oh my gosh.
Parental engagement on curriculum development.
Yeah, right. Now you probably got it off Amazon.
We don't require K through 3rd grade sexual education. That doesn't happen until middle school. What you're doing is using education as a sword for your cultural purge. And you know what? With all due respect, I remember in the 1970s. In the 1970s, we had a bill called the Briggs Initiative. And there was a guy by the name of Ronald Reagan so offended by the Briggs Initiative, which was the original Don't Say Gay bill. In that case, it was not allowing teachers that happened to be gay to teach. And Reagan had the courage to stand up, and he said, you can't...
Bro, we don't need to do propaganda on behalf of Reagan.
I don't like the way you demean the LGBTQ community. I don't like the way you demean and humiliate people you disagree with, Ron. I really find this fundamentally offensive, and this is a core value that distinguishes the values of my state and, frankly, the vast majority of Americans against the weaponization of education.
I have a follow-up question for you.
I mean, true.
And by the way, first, Governor, yes or no? Are the book banning issues, is that not a state issue? Is that a state issue or a local issue?
Local, and he's
okay. That's all I want to know.
The phone book wasn't
but
there.
Here's the question I have for you, Governor Newsom. Some of the books you're talking about, one is called, the governor just brought it up, it's called Gender Queer, a memoir, explicit pornographic book showing sex acts. Another, Flamer.
Hannity just has it like on his desk. He's got it right there.
Yeah.
This book is
I have
gay,
these titles, just for research.
On the ins and outs of gay sexuality. Let me finish.
Let me finish. This is the good part.
No, this is also the dumbest shit too, because people write books about heterosexual people exploring sex all the time, and that's not considered pornographic.
For school districts to teach kids, yes or no?
Come on, that's not part of the curriculum. They're not teaching.
Those are books that were in school.
Hold on.
In school is not a part of the curriculum.
You want a book banning binge your state. 1,406 books, 3,362 in this country.
You didn't answer.
Florida's
What about those books?
That's
The
not,
books,
provide
genderqueer, and this book is gay are not in the
education,
fucking curriculum.
That kind of curriculum. It's just made up. These guys make it up. It's part of this cultural purge.
Should it
it's
be?
Just a
What grade would it be acceptable?
What I find offensive, Sean and Ron, what I find offensive is a very significant number of these books happen to be LGBTQ books. A significant number of these books happen to be around African Americans.
Do you think it's
honestly
Yes, it is appropriate for school.
We don't teach that. We have sex education in middle schools and high schools where it's appropriate. This is a ginned up, made up issue to divide this country. You talk about dividing this country. This is part of the culture war, the weaponization of grievance. This is part using education.
Sean Hannity's like, okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore because you're right.
We're going to get to education.
He's criminalizing teachers and criminalizing librarians. Check out the wrong
the schools to impose a liberal agenda.
He is criminalizing librarians and he's criminalizing teachers, and they're trying to bust unions and bust the teachers' unions.
California respects parents' rights. This is rich. He's been telling a lot of whoppers tonight. This may be the biggest.
He's been telling a lot of whoppers tonight.
Wow, this sounds like a debate from 2000.
Yeah.
If you're a minor child,
Ron DeSantis
without your knowledge,
would not only be a politician from the past,
hormone therapy,
but he's not even. He wouldn't even be good in 2000.
Or consent.
You know what I mean? He would have been like Jeb.
Honoring parents' rights when you're bringing people.
He would have been the guy who came like in second in New Hampshire, and everyone said it was a good showing.
Altering surgeries. That is radical. That is extreme. That is an assault on parents' rights.
You know what? Ron,
it's not for you to decide. It's for the parents to decide.
It's not for you to decide, but you're trying to decide.
Let me go to follow-up. Let me stay on a follow-up. Let's turn to the issue of education.
Decency and humanity.
Embrace the decency of ripping somebody away.
Gentlemen, please. Nobody can.
Don't talk.
Right? Every time Newsom will start to say something,
let us turn, gentlemen.
Let's get away from him.
He's like, yeah. All right. He's like, this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to, so let's move to a next issue.
Data initiative from the U.S. Census Bureau and National Center for Education. Florida spends nearly $12,000 per student, while California spends over $16,000. Florida is ranked #1 by U.S. News and World Report. In terms of state education rankings, California ranks 20th. Governor Newsom, what is your explanation? You spend more money and they have better results in Florida. Why?
I told you what I'm doing in public education. We created a brand new grade, pre-K for all. We're doing after school and summer school for all. We're reimagining the school day, not just the school year. We just provided 3.4 million of our students upwards of $2 billion for child
not
savings
only
accounts.
and the kids get to decide nothing, right? But it's not just about not giving the kids choice. They don't believe in parental choice either, because a lot of parents want their kids to be given the choice to read those books, want their kids to be able to take hormone replacement therapy, and when the parents want that, all of a sudden they want to go into your doctor's office with you and control it.
We outperformed you. It's a fact.
Also, the Republicans want to destroy public education. Full stop. Full stop.
Because, Ron, you keep denying
they want to totally privatize public education.
Wealth and education, we outperformed you during COVID. You talk about things to apologize. You should apologize for your COVID record. You were with Fauci. You aligned with vaccines.
Yeah, exactly.
You aligned with CDC guidelines until you didn't. And tens of thousands of people died.
Let's return our focus to education.
Well, when we opened the schools, we bucked all of those people June of 2020. He kept the schools closed for a long time.
More bragging about like letting people die of COVID.
What Gavin Newsom does in California,
like, this is not the flex that you think it is.
Teachers Union. Whatever they tell him to do, he does. He will never balk the teachers union. That's why the kids were locked out of school for so long. Joe Biden
war on teachers. War on teachers.
So is Kamala Harris. That's why they fought school openings when he came in there. When they had that in
Ron,
Biden came into office and he brought in the teacher union to be able to do all these different things to try to keep the schools closed. So the Democratic Party,
Kamala on
left
purpose.
in this country, they are owned lock, stock, and barrel by the teachers union. I beat the teachers union in Florida. to get the schools open, first in the country during COVID. Also to do universal school choice.
I didn't expect for Newsom to do that well, Charlie.
We're
But
winning these fights.
honestly, I think I didn't expect DeSantis to do that bad.
Let's move on. A topic that will seemingly play a very large role.
It's even worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's always worse with him. You always think it's going to be bad, and then it's even worse.
Yes.
Individual's right to answer uninterrupted, and that is Governor DeSantis. I think it's actually your turn, Governor Newsom, if you don't mind.
All good.
Most medical professionals believe a baby is viable outside of a mother's womb by...
You guys really want to go into the abortion question? I don't know. You guys have been losing really badly on that.
Abortion is legal in your state, quote, up to viability, is my understanding, unless the mother's health is in danger. I'd like to get you on the record. You've been unwilling to answer this question. Do you...
More lies.
There be any
more lies.
On the
lies about trans kids.
That you support at all? Because funding in California...
Lies about books, lies about gay people, lies about the laws in Florida.
Abortion last year alone.
Oh my gosh. Lies about abortion. The whole, it's abortion up until the point of birth.
On abortion,
that's not a thing.
In months 7,
that's not a
8,
thing.
And 9. Past viability.
I'm going to answer that question, but let's talk about the issue of abortion. Let's talk about the issue of abortion.
You're going to answer it?
I'm going to answer that question. I'll repeat that. But I think this is important, and it bears repeating. Ron DeSantis has signed the most extreme anti-abortion bills in America. He signed a bill banning any exceptions for rape and incest. And then he said it didn't go far enough and decided to sign a 6-week ban before women even know they're pregnant, Ron, before women can even access a doctor's appointment. So extreme is your ban that criminalizes women and criminalizes doctor that even Donald Trump said it was too extreme. On the issue of the extreme exception that you highlight as it relates to the issue of later term abortion, it's almost always because of a fetal anomaly, the life of the mother. And in those rare cases, I trust, and answer your question, I trust the mother and her doctor to make that decision.
So in other words, I want to be clear on this. If a woman and her doctor, for any reason...
Not for any reason.
No.
I'm extremely rare.
Should there
be... I know where you guys are going, Sean. You're even uncomfortable with this whole issue. This is where you guys have to go to cover for the extreme anti-abortion agenda of Ron DeSantis.
Should there be... Would you support a ban on abortion in 7th, 8th, or 9th month?
He already answered it.
If the mother's life is not in jeopardy.
Extreme exception. People aren't going on and having abortion.
Should it be illegal?
Unless something devastating is happening.
Should it be illegal?
It should be up to the mother and her doctor.
This is so bad. Hannity is really struggling with this one.
I answered it. And I'll just reinforce it. To cover up, again, hold on, for the most extreme abortion ban in the country. I have a simple question, though. This is important.
No, what's embarrassing is Hannity is trying to interrupt him because they're really fucking bad on this. Like, they're really bad. It's a really, really bad fucking look. So, like, the reality of the situation is that abortions never happen in the later trimesters unless there is an issue with the pregnancy or the life of the person who can get pregnant is at risk. Otherwise, they never happen. No one, literally no one, is like, I think I want to have an abortion, like, at, like, 9 months. Or 8 months. Like, that's not a thing. It's never been a thing. Never. Okay? So they're just lying. And Gavin Newsom is right there. He's correct there because he did answer the question. Sean Hannity just didn't like the answer because it's very awkward for them because their position is so barbaric. Their position is so extreme. Their position is so radical and so fucking crazy that they have to try to create a radical position on the Democrats because their position is so insane that people won't abide it. So they have to be like, people are having post-birth abortions in order to try to create some type of false equivalency. So Newsom at least had a good answer on that because that is true. They just try to obfuscate. They try to talk over you. They try to create false equivalencies. to cover for the fact that their abortion stances are so extreme.
Sign a 6-week ban in the unlikely case to Governor DeSantis.
Let's talk about your state. You had 15 weeks. You had a 15-week rule in California. You reduced it to 6. My question is this. What was your thinking behind it? Was it for religious reasons? Was it for scientific reasons? What was the reason for you from going from 15 weeks to 6 weeks?
Newsom's face there.
I think we're better off when everybody counts, when everybody has an opportunity to do well, and that bill attaches
That's not
when
why
there's
he did
a
it.
detectable heartbeat for the child. And some states have done that.
Lies.
Some states have done later, and obviously they have a right to do that. But I think about
No, they don't, because you guys want a federal abortion ban.
She actually survived a late-term abortion back in the day, and they left her on the table there to basically wither away. Her grandmother came, saved her.
See what they're doing again? He has no answer because their position is barbaric, so he runs to anecdotes. Anecdotes. That's what they have to do. Oh, hi, Hobbs. Hi, guys. Please like and share the stream. But they have to run to anecdotes because their position is so extreme. He can't talk on the substance, so he has to be all, well, I knew someone who survived a late-term abortion.
Hospital, brought her, saved her, and she ended up living a good life. So she counts and she matters. And I think
Charlie.
The position that we have from the modern left, including in California, is that they will take your tax dollars and they will fund abortion all the way to the moment of birth. He's wrong when he says the later terms are because of this. 88% past 15 weeks are elective. From the Florida data, he doesn't
elective,
keep data there.
like it's
But
like
that
a
is
fucking
really
boob job.
to take your tax dollars and to do this all the way up to the moment of birth. He didn't answer your question about any type of.
He did answer the question. He did.
For a baby that has a beating heart, that can feel pain, that is viable.
He did answer the question, actually.
This is an important conversation. Will you or will you not support a national
Sean. Why didn't you answer
or will you
question?
not
He did answer
a
it.
national ban if it lands on your desk? You couldn't answer that in any other context.
Okay,
answer
gentlemen,
it tonight.
we're moving on to the next issue.
No, Sean, not a
You
next
never
issue.
gave a week.
The American people should know this. I'll answer it for Ron DeSantis. Can't answer it. He will sign that extreme 6-week
let me move
national
on.
ban. American people should know that.
I'm calling this the lightning round. It'd be great if you guys cooperated. I'm not a potted plant here. And I want to ask you, we all know that federal policy does have a huge impact on states. We know that. I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions, and I just want one-word answers, okay? From 3 of you, because we're coming up on a break. And the issue is right now Joe Biden is president. Yep. So I would like both of you to give a grade to Joe Biden overall as president. Governor Newsom, I'll give A.
An A, absolutely.
Governor DeSantis
master
failed.
And a failure. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's your.
Now, number 2, are his policies helping or hurting?
Neither. He doesn't deserve an A, and he doesn't deserve an F.
He's hurting our state big time.
Grade.
Fail. He failed. Yeah. He's failed on the economy.
The guy just took $28 million from the Science and Tech Act. Thank you, Joe Biden. It's absolutely accelerating our dominance in manufacturing.
Yeah, these people love to talk about how the jobs are down and the economy sucks or whatever. But then, when the bills they vote against pass, they want the money for their districts.
Over again, and Governor Newsom, you have
these
seen
people are
over
such
and
fucking
over again.
hacks.
Joe Biden is experienced what I believe to be significant cognitive decline. And in other words, it's the toughest job in the world.
Well, this one might be hard for him to answer because
experiencing this cognitive decline. Is it a danger to the country? Do you find when he speaks, what is your reaction to it?
Yes, he's in decline. Yes, it's a danger to the country. He has no business running for president. And, Gavin Newsom agrees with that. He won't say that. That's why he's running his shadow campaign. He should not be running. He is not up to the job. And it is dangerous.
This is the only thing that he says that.
Joe Biden at 100 versus Ron DeSantis any day of the week at any age. In fact, all of the folks.
You think he's up to the job?
100%. I've been spending plenty of time with Joe Biden. You don't know. And by the way, results matter. Inflation now is down to 3.2%.
I agree, though, because he's fucking... Like, to pretend that Joe Biden is not on death's door is like... Come on. Are we really pretending that he's not on death's door?
March 31st, 1968, President Lyndon B. Johnson famously said, "I shall not seek and I will not accept
No, Biden shouldn't
the
seek a
nomination
fucking another term.
of my party for another term as your president." Now, despite being an incumbent president who is eligible to run for re-election, Governor Newsom, I've interviewed you twice on this issue. You say you are not running for president in 2024.
Which is embarrassing because it's like, said, no, quote, Newsom should just say he's going to run, right? Like, he should just come out and say it. He should say, yeah, I'm going to run. Let a lot of people run. But they can't say it.
Tonight I ask you,
they can't say
it. Will you make an LBJ-like statement? And
no one wants to challenge him because the Democratic Party are servile.
In your response, I would like you to answer
What about Kamala Harris?
Will you say unequivocally under no circumstances are you...
They don't want Kamala Harris to run because they don't think she can win.
Stuff up about a shadow campaign.
If at the DNC convention they come and ask you, will you run? What will you say?
Joe Biden will be our nominee in a matter of weeks.
That's insane. It's also...
We'll be endorsing Donald Trump as a nominee for the Republican
This
Party.
is the thing that makes me insane, too, about this, is that you bitches pretend to care so much about democracy. Democracy's on the line. Democracy's on the line. This is the most important election of our lifetime because democracy's on the line. Why, then, are you going to risk, if you care about democracy that much, running Joe Biden? He's losing. He's losing to Trump. He should be primaried. He's going to lose. He's going to lose to Trump. And yet, they're going to run him anyway. So do you really care? Do you really care about democracy? Are you really worried about democracy? Are you, though? If you're willing to run someone who might not even be alive, but who is not going to win.
They come to you at the DNC.
But no, such weenie and fucking bullshit. They're like, Newsom's like, no, I don't see anything. Nothing's awry here. I'm not gonna run. No, they should stop acting like this is a fucking monarchy, okay? This is not a monarchy. Any one of them should be able to run. It shouldn't be all, we can't because Joe Biden. Bullshit.
It's not even optional. He's doing fantastically.
It's not even optional.
Lamau. And the vice president's the Biden-Harris campaign and team. So absolutely unequivocally, I look forward to continuing to support their efforts. President Biden will be reelected. Donald Trump will be rejected.
I think what he's saying should color every single thing. I mean, I've called him on a lot of the lies, but he says Joe Biden is 100% up to the job. You know that that's not true. Anybody that can look, he wants you to believe him over your own lying eyes. When he says the economy is so great, how great is it when you're going to the grocery store now? How great is it when you're trying to afford a home? How are those interest rates doing? What about
that doesn't have anything to do with the president.
We have to understand that Biden is not a job. But here's I think the problem. What Biden would do...
Honestly, that's the problem, though, with the Democrats, because Gavin Newsom could beat Donald Trump.
To go forward in the next 4 years. That would
a lot of generic Democrats could beat Donald Trump.
Freedom is what works. The failures
Marianne Williamson could probably beat Donald Trump. Gretchen Whitmer, Andy Beshear, who's the governor in Texas, he could probably beat Donald Trump. But they want to...
Gentlemen, it is not a state of freedom.
One of the things I want to accomplish here is the policies
but they want to risk running Joe Biden, which is...
States.
It's amazing.
A gallon of gasoline, Governor Newsom in California, has been notably higher in
the president does not control gas prices, whether they be low or high. This is such an annoying shtick.
$3.24 in Florida, $3.17.
Yeah, right, Andrea. And part of that is Biden because he's being so selfish by not stepping down. He said, I'm only going to run for one term. And the problem is that Kamala Harris's approval rating is even lower than his. So they should have a primary to get somebody like Gavin Newsom to win. Because Gavin Newsom, as much as I don't personally like him, he could win and he probably would beat Trump.
You can bring online in the next 3 to 6 months that would be as inexpensive for the people in this country as fossil fuels.
Let me touch.
Can you think of that energy?
Let me touch on I'm going to get to your question, and let me touch the latter.
Hannity gets upset when he knows he's not going to like the answer, so he'll cut them off and go, "Are you going to answer it? Are you going to answer it?"
Have experienced under their stewardship, experienced higher gas prices in the state of California. We've been ripped off by big oil. We continue to be ripped off by big oil. Big oil now is met a new foe, and that's the state of California, the most aggressive anti-gouging law in America, more transparency being required than any time in America, and yes, we're suing.
Yeah, but I think it's good for us to remember that a lot of people do not pay attention to politics.
The same climate crisis.
Like sometimes I have to remind myself of that because I pay attention so much to it. But I'll come into contact with people sometimes and I'm like reminded, I'm brought back down to earth that like most people don't give a fuck. Most people might vote every 4 years, but they don't care. So like sometimes I'll be all like, oh, everybody's paying attention to the minutia and the this and the that, but like they're not.
Celebrated by the Sierra Club for that action until you weren't. Once again, it shows the hypocrisy of Ron DeSantis. Now you're running away.
Yeah, and it is big oil companies price gouging is the reason why gas prices are high. The president, whether it's Trump, Biden, or anybody else, is not in control of gas prices.
Disasters. And he has no response except talking points from big oil.
That was a mouthful. Again, just
you're right about Biden's name recognition. But what I'm saying is Biden is losing in the polls to Trump right now in all of the swing states. All of them. And that is scary. And I think a lot of it has to do with his age.
Is government dictated green energy policies. They want to
government dictated policies, Lamau. He's losing support amongst progressives and young people because of his response to what's happening in Gaza. And then on top of that,
you're not going to be able to buy a normal car, only electric vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. His age and the situation in Gaza. The thing is that like
a notice from the state government telling all
a generic Democrat who actually doesn't look like they're about to die and can get through a sentence like would have a better chance against Trump.
People into a big-time disaster. What Biden wants to do is he wants to take the California model. He wants to impose that nationally. He wants to take away your ability to purchase the car that you want. He wants to kneecap.
This is the Gav stove routine.
All across the United States of America. It doesn't work. It's going to cause huge problems. We have more energy here. We can be the dominant energy producer in the world.
Florida,
and that's what we're going to do. Florida is not a big energy state. We have the Marcellus Shale. We have the West Texas. We have all of that. So let's do that. No forcing electric vehicles.
We got to take a break.
American automobile.
When we come back, we'll continue the great state, red state, blue state debate.
We already are energy independent. We actually export a lot of energy. That is a lie that the right wing constantly tells. We're not energy independent anymore. And oftentimes the Democrats don't push back on it because the Democrats will kind of help when it comes to that. And they've made promises to their voters that they're not going to do more drilling or more fracking. But America is energy independent. We're a net exporter.
Department of Housing and Urban Development. These are the numbers for the homeless population in each of your states. It is a big problem around the country. In the state of California, it is
because of corporate greed.
172,000. In Florida, it is 26,000. Now, the per capita numbers are pretty much the same. For California, it is 44 per 10,000 people, while Florida has 12 per 10,000 people. So, Governor DeSantis, I ask you, why the disparity? What are the policies you are implementing that is different from that of California?
California is adopting leftist policies. Gavin Newsom was governor or mayor of San Francisco. He put out a 10-year plan like 20 years ago. He was going to end homelessness. Then a few years later, he had another plan. And now he says he's going to do, and it's only gotten worse. In the last 10 years in California, the homeless has gone up 45%. It's gone down in Florida 45%. But it's caused a huge problem with quality of life in California. The people that flee always bring up this. They've really empowered lawlessness and drug use. And, you know, Gavin Newsom at one point tried to say that California was the freedom state. I just kind of laughed, like, you're locking people down, you're doing all this. Then I thought about it, you know, California does have freedoms. that some people don't, that other states don't. You have the freedom to defecate in public in California. You have the freedom to pitch a tent on Sunset Boulevard. You have the freedom to create a homeless encampment under a freeway and even light it on fire. You have the freedom to have an open air.
You think she's really nailing it?
You have the freedom, if you're an illegal alien, to get all these taxpayer benefits. So those are freedoms. They're not the freedoms our founding fathers envisioned, but they have contributed to the destruction of the quality of life in California, and the results speak for themselves. People are leaving the state because they have failed at addressing the homeless population.
Well, I love the rant on freedom. I mean, here's a guy who's criminalizing teachers, criminalizing doctors, criminalizing librarians, and criminalizing women that seek their reproductive care. You're making it harder to vote. You're banning books. I mean, spare me this notion of freedom. Ask the folks at Disney about freedom and free enterprise. Ask the folks at the Special Olympics that you threatened to fine with $27
because
million.
they were discriminating against the athletes.
Who goes after Special Olympics
when it comes to the issue Down syndrome?
Of homelessness?
That is wrong. That's being a liberal bully.
Yeah.
That's being a bully.
Really?
They had Down syndrome and you wanted to discriminate against them.
$27 million
They were discriminating against
Special
because they were
Olympians.
discriminating against the athletes. They wanted to marginalize the athletes, and you wanted the athletes marginalized. That was wrong what you did. These are kids with Down syndrome that just wanted to compete, and you wanted
That's not even. That's not even. Not even.
You wanted them to be. You wanted them to be ostracized. You should talk to Isabella from Florida. She got to participate because we stood up for her.
Trying to take your thing.
By the way, no, hold on.
It's your
Let me say, I can handle that. I can handle it. I'm used to that. But you know what? Your attacks on the trans community, your attack on the gay and lesbian community,
that's wrong.
You attack vulnerable communities, you attack women,
and we made sure they.
Bro, shut up.
Relax. I can handle it. I'm used to bullying. You're nothing but a bully.
You're
I understand that. Intimidating and humiliating people, that's your calling card.
Why did you want the Special Olympians not to be able to compete?
For you?
Why did you want them not to be able to compete?
How well is this
Why do you
campaign
not
going?
want them to be
He's
able
not
to
going to let me
compete?
talk
I don't
to the
understand why you want to discriminate
again, I'll remind you, the blueprint,
he wanted them to be excluded
for
from the Special
Florida
Olympics.
has put Ron DeSantis 41 points down to Donald Trump as you try to get tough.
We said that.
Out Trump.
Let's go back to
the issue of homelessness has been an issue for decades in the making in the state of California. Ever since we started shuttering down our mental health institutions back in the day, in Ronald Reagan's day. The difference is I'm the first governor in California history to take this head on. We are investing unprecedented resources, more accountability.
He's not taking it head on. He's handled this terribly. Like, come on.
Close to 6,000 encampments we've gotten off the streets. We've also invested in unprecedented resources in reforming our behavioral health system.
No, bro, you just like kicked up all the people off the street when Xi Jinping was coming to town to make San Francisco look nice.
Texas. And so, with all due respect,
I will say that the difference between him and DeSantis is that he's at least pretending to offer solutions.
He's pulling out the thing again.
Yeah, well, this is
He's got more props. More props.
On that, you may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco.
No, you're not.
The whole thing.
No, you're not.
Because that is what has happened.
No, you're not.
In one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there. They cleaned everything up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator.
First of all, she is not a communist. He's an authoritarian.
Limited time we have left. I want to get there are two very important issues we have not hit. After the Hamas terror attacks,
yeah, Newsom is a greaseball, like 100%. But Ron DeSantis is so awful that he kind of makes Newsom look not as bad.
On college campuses last month, outside in Sydney Opera House in Australia, we've seen it all over Europe, but in Australia, anti-Israeli protesters. Literally, in this day and age, chanting,
yeah, exactly.
And
then you've got Ron DeSantis.
In American cities, we have protesters calling for global Islamic war and demanding that Israel be wiped off the map, or, in the words of Congresswoman Tlaib, from the river to the sea. Israel, meanwhile, is vowing to eradicate the terrorist group Hamas. But according to a report in the New York Times this week, U.S. officials have warned Israel that they need more to fight more surgically in Gaza. Governor Newsom.
I like how he says it like it's a bad thing.
How can
he says it like it's a bad thing. The U.S. warned that they shouldn't just indiscriminately bomb so much. What do you have to say?
I met with families, hostages. I saw videos of children being killed in front of their parents, parents being killed in front of their children. I saw a beheading with a garden hoe. This is not complicated to me. This is a fight between good and evil. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they need to be eliminated, not just for the people of Israel and Jews around the world, but for the Palestinians themselves. But when it comes to the issue of anti-Semitism, you just mentioned a lot of things that have been occurring on Ron DeSantis' watch. He said nothing.
You're calling him anti-Semitic?
Marching. I'm saying he countenanced anti-Semitism, and now he's finally talking a big game ever since October 7th. How about the masked man marching the fairness of time?
I mean, that's true. They always prop up anti-Semites, and then when it's convenient for them, they'll pretend to care about it.
Israel and wipe every single Jew off the map.
I like how they only are asking about the rise in anti-Semitism. Not once did they bring up the rise in Islamophobia, the shooting of those boys in Vermont, the murder of the Palestinian kid in Chicago.
And we sent planes over to Israel right in the aftermath of October 7th, and we saved over 700 Americans, mostly Floridians, but not all.
Yeah, that was a publicity stunt. You didn't give a fuck.
Dumping people in Greece. And then they were sending a bill to
Why does he have googly eyes?
If you come
Why
to
does
this
he have
country
googly eyes?
illegally, they will pay to fly you all over the place. They'll put you up in a hotel at no expense. But yet our own citizens fleeing a war zone, they're going to send you a bill. Joe Biden failed those people, and we stepped up.
Joe Biden failed those people.
Anti-Semitism on your streets for years.
I want to turn to the issue, gentlemen, of China. I talk about this often. Intellectual property theft, unfair trade practices.
That's it. That's
China
all
the
energy and oxygen they gave to Gaza.
To our Navy and international waterways. We know
are you going to do anything about
China spy balloon that happened 8 days right across the United States over military installations. The communist Chinese, they have nationals buying up thousands of acres of ranch land, farmland, and land near military installations. Their hostility towards Taiwan. They are, Governor DeSantis, our number one geopolitical.
They always say the Chinese Communist Party is a way to try to to fearmonger about China.
We banned China from buying land in our state because you're right. You don't want them buying farmland or land near military bases. So we acted. We also got the Confucius Institutes out of our universities. China should not be involved in our universities at all. What you need to do is you need to have hard power in the Indo-Pacific to deter China's ambitions. You need to take the economy. We need to decouple from China. We're dependent on them for so many things. And then finally, we need to get serious about their influence in this country. They shouldn't be able to buy farmland anywhere. I can tell you this. I would not go to China and grovel in front of Xi like Gavin Newsom did. He says China's a partner on climate change. China's adding 2 new coal plants every year. China's laughing at us with what they're doing.
Why are the Republicans so obsessed with saying everybody's laughing at us?
Take it seriously, and Joe Biden is not doing that.
This is just a reminder. I think it's a question some people are probably asking. I know Nikki Haley's campaign is asking, when are you going to drop out and at least give Nikki Haley a shot to take down Donald Trump in this nomination? You're a walking hypocrite. You're a walking hypocrite.
What about China?
On the issue of China. This is the guy that was looking for direct foreign trade from China. Was doing
Brozak, they're so full of shit. Our economy is totally entwined with China's. That's why it's so stupid when they try to fearmonger about China. It's just all theatrics because our economies are totally intertwined. At this point,
on the issue of fentanyl, Ron, I confronted them on human rights. I absolutely did with the foreign minister and the vice president and other leaders in China. You talk a big game. Meanwhile,
we're over time. Final question, Governor DeSantis. We owe you about 90 seconds, but you get the last word as per the coin flip.
What are you giving me? 5 seconds? What do I get?
No, I'll do okay. I'll be a little more generous than that. Look.
Ugh, he's so greasy.
It's been a very passionate debate tonight. Actually, it's been fun to be a part of. I think the American
Sean Hannity wants to be liked so much.
Philosophies could not be more different. But let me ask you this, kind of a fun question. You both clearly love your states. You visited each other's state. Governor DeSantis, You can take as much time as you want. You have an extra 90 seconds. What is your favorite thing about the state of California? And
I give him 5 minutes for this.
Go right ahead.
That's a good question.
All right, we'll stay longer. 5 minutes, Gavin.
When I got orders as a Navy lieutenant to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado,
we allow for the right wing to
Native, and I'm very proud of the state. But I got down there, and that Strand is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And then all up and down,
the Republicans always trash
California has more
blue
natural
states.
advantages than any state in the country, which is why
and they get away
when
with
you have
it.
so many people leaving on net, that's hard to do. Like, people don't want to leave there because it really is such a beautiful area, and I'm proud of the military installations that are there. I'm proud of what the Navy's been able to do in conjunction with the state. It was really important duty. It really helped forge me as an individual and as an American, and so I'll always have very, very fond memories of that nice Strand down there in Southern California.
I love that. I mean,
I don't know what you love about California.
California Coast of Dreams. By the way,
what do you love about Florida?
What I love about your question is the comedy in the question, meaning, you know what? We all want to be loved. We need to be loved. We all want to be protected, respected, and connected. I think there is a unity frame here. You said it well. I mean, Ron, I have no doubt Ron DeSantis loves this country. I love this country. It's not about red versus blue. It's red, white, and blue. The United States of America. And I think we're all better off, and we're all better off. And so I appreciate this conversation. I appreciate you, Ron, being a family man. You've got 3 incredible kids. I appreciate your wife.
Why are you kissing his ass?
And I appreciate your military service. But I also appreciate we do have fundamental differences about the fate and future of this country. And that's why I'm going to be working so hard to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris reelected in 2024.
You couldn't resist. You had to go right back to 2024. All right, here's the last guy. Would you do this again?
Well, you know what?
I hope we can do another
half
hour. I got all
Joe Biden should show up to a debate.
That's why
I have another 20 minutes, and I've got a lot of questions.
I'm happy to.
You want to stay?
Let's just do an extended hour. I'm happy to do it.
Okay. Then
this has been fun.
I think it's been fun, and I think it's been more entertaining. I'm sorry to the guests that I've been invited. I got to take a break, though, in the meantime. We've got to pay some bills. It's not a cheap set we built for y'all. I hope you like it.
It is a cheap set. It looks like you said
I hope
Costco.
Watch off it. We'll take a break. They've agreed to stay. Well, that's, I guess, the debate on the fly will continue on the other side.
Oh, please put us out of our misery.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. This thing.
Smart hour with fact.
Wait, so no, they ended it.
Wait, did they?
All right, welcome back to Hannity, a red state, blue state debate. By mutual agreement, both candidates had other commitments, and realized afterwards they couldn't stay longer. But we appreciate them all being here tonight.
They like took DeSantis off the screen.
Right, but also they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this."
Here joining us, co-host of The Five and former Democratic Congressman Harold Ford Jr. Along
Yes,
with the
that's
co-host
correct.
Outnumbered Kayleigh McEnany. Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer.
What's wrong with Ari Fleischer's face?
Did Ari Fleischer get beat up?
That's my first.
It looks like he got attacked by a lawnmower.
Yes.
And mine was the opposite. I know you're being facetious. What an
First of all,
constructive.
What I love though is like how pathetic Hannity is, because did you hear at the end he goes, I had to get one last lie in. Yeah. But I also like how he was all pathetic to them at the end. He's like, I built an expensive set for you. I hope you like it. Like, all pathetic. Like, that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing.
Smart hour with fact-based questions. Sean, what?
Fact-based question. Okay, I can't.
Just kiss us.
Yeah, I can't. These people are so full of shit.
In a very long time, so well done on your part. Look, in press, when I was press secretary, Ari knows this. You ask yourself, do you have a facts problem?
No. I'm gonna mute this clown and just give our takeaways for the debate. My takeaways are this. I think that Ron DeSantis is gonna drop out soon. That was a funny line when he's like, at least give Nikki Haley a chance. Oh my God. Ron DeSantis is going to drop out soon. Gavin Newsom should run. not because I like him, but because I think he has a better chance of beating Trump than Joe Biden does. I think that it's embarrassing and pathetic, and also not really showing that you care so much about what's going on with democracy or the fate of democracy if you are basically saying that there can be no primary, that no one is going to get into the race, that you won't allow anybody else to challenge Joe Biden. So you're basically setting up him to lose, because there is a good chance, at least at this point, that he will lose to Trump. And Trump is obviously going to be the nominee. I think Ron DeSantis, my prediction is he drops out before Haley. That whole debate was a joke. Ron DeSantis, again, final takeaway, zero charisma. None. No political talent. Not ready for prime time. Never will be ready for prime time. He's not meant to be a state national politician.
Also, his campaign has the feeling, you see this a lot with campaigns that are on the verge of imploding. There's a sense of desperation in what they're doing, and just about everything that they do, the desperation comes across.
Yeah.
And that's what I sensed in among his terrible debate performance. One of the things was just the desperation for that breakout moment where he was trying to bring it to Newsom, and he never really did.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see that probably in the next couple of weeks of these just this desperation to maintain some kind of foothold in the running, in the polling.
Yeah.
But I expect, like you said, for him to probably. I predict it'll be after Iowa that he'll finally drop out, mainly just because of cash. I think that people see him as a dead weight at this point. So
yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I think he'll drop out after Iowa. And I think you're right. There's probably going to be a few more moments over the next few weeks before he drops out where it's going to be really pathetic.
Yeah.
It's going to be really it's going to be so thirsty.
Yeah. But this was pretty much his last moment to make a big impression. I think
Fail.
I think that
Fail.
This consensus on him is already baked in, and he really needed this night to show up and pull something off that people hadn't seen before out of him.
Yeah.
And he simply didn't do it. He only doubled down on his poor performances. So I think this just reinforces the negative sense that people already have about him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, probably. All right. Thank you all for joining the live. Make sure to like the live before you go. And thank you guys for joining and for making me laugh during this, because some of what you wrote was pretty funny. It made me laugh. Gotta have the lulz. Wait, did I just get a gift? Thank you guys. Did somebody send me a gift? You guys, I don't understand how the gifts work. I don't understand how the gifts work. But I think somebody sent me a gift. I think Brozak, did you send me a gift? Okay, well, if you did, I think you might have. Thank you very much for the gift. Thank you guys again for joining me in this. Gotta laugh to keep from crying. Yeah, right? But thank you guys for joining me in this. I had fun watching it, and definitely you guys kept me good company. So, yeah, I'll see you all soon, okay? Bye.